The CDC estimates there are 500,000 cases a year. That's on average 1,300 people a day. Lyme disease wasn't a problem until the peak of the biological weapons program in the U.S., the mid-'70s. These three freaky diseases showed up: Lyme arthritis, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and then there was a parasite called Babesia.
So you have a cluster of these previously rare diseases right across from the U.S. government's biological weapons testing facility. Is that what you're saying?
This is the perfect stealth weapon. It's poor man's nuke.
All right, guys, so ticks have gotten a little bit more scary this year, and people are noticing that there's a lot more of them, too. I know that there's already a trendy thing to be scared about with this hantavirus, but personally, when you look at all the people involved and the research that goes back decades, I'm a lot more concerned about this Lone Star tick and what's going to develop with it. So, let's take a look.
Jersey man is the first known person to die after a tick bite triggered a severe meat allergy.
And ticks. Watch that thing.
The tick thing is nuts.
Yeah,
especially
because of meat, because of Gates.
Well, there's
Bill
boxes
Gates, not
people
Matt.
are finding. I don't know if this is true because I've seen many reports on it, but I'm just going to say what I saw. That farmers and ranchers are finding boxes of ticks on their property. Now,
involved genetically mutating mosquitoes and releasing them in the U.S. and Latin America and other areas of Africa. He is involved breeding up these deadly ticks. The CIA has declassified they're involved. And now these ticks, when you see this footage, people find these boxes that fall out of the sky. That's how they do it. This is 100% thousands of baby ticks pouring out of a box. And this is what everybody's reporting everywhere. They keep catching videos of this, the same boxes, little 10 boxes, full of these ticks.
These people are, what they're doing, but they're on our top field. Who the what are y'all doing? I don't know about you, that's what this guy's literally, in our top field. Oh, there they go.
So I've seen some people in the news media tentatively kind of blame this rise in the tick population on global warming and changing climates, which is ironic because in the Midwest and the South where these ticks are, the people seem to be claiming that it has been a very mild winter so far. And now, I'm not here to argue for or against climate change and global warming. Surely we're screwing up the planet up in a number of ways. It's just funny how, as Agenda 2030 and all this stuff plays out, they continually use the global warming thing on the front end and the back end to get people to do what they want. Like, you guys all need to quit eating meat. You need to become vegetarian because of climate change. And there's this tick here that bites you and you become allergic to meat. Well, who made the tick? Why is it here? Climate change. Now, it would be great if some sort of ethical person or some ethics board could be involved in the decisions we make regarding our biology. Oh wait, here's our bioethicist now.
So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
It's kind of concerning how easy it is to control people and to sculpt their beliefs for them without them knowing. Like how liberals are going to back anything that has to do with climate change, and they're going to be driven down this Agenda 2030 pathway. But you know what? For the past 20 years, I've been seeing the same thing with conservatives. It's like we made this boogeyman about the Middle East, and then we got to run roughshod over there for 20 years, toppling over countries because of the Islamic boogeyman.
As bioweapons?
Yes, it's actually in CIA documents that have been declassified. For instance, infected ticks were deployed from C-130s flying low over sugarcane fields in Cuba back in the day under President Kennedy. There is abundant evidence of the field testing of infected ticks and other insects in a variety of settings in the United States and elsewhere. Clearly, USAMRIID was involved. and in particular the Plum Island facility that had been a biowarfare investigative facility up in Long Island region, and then was transferred over to USDA, was involved in a lot of this research. It also involved infected mosquitoes and deployed infected mosquitoes and a number of other things. And what this uncovered that I hadn't been aware of was the release of a large number of Lone Star ticks that have been radioactively tagged in Virginia. It appears that that was responsible for the introduction of Lone Star ticks along the eastern seaboard that have now migrated north of the Mason-Dixon line. So there's a lot.
Wait, radioactive ticks being dropped into Virginia by our government?
Absolutely. Absolutely, as part of a project in the 60s to look at the ability of these modified insects to disseminate geographically. And it appears that that's the origin of the Lone Star tick infestation that we now have along the eastern seaboard.
So, by the way, that quote from the bioethicist, that's from like 2016. So none of this is new. Even the conspiracy, as I recited to you, is not new, or the idea with ticks. Like they mentioned, they've been studying this and coming up with plans contingent on other things for 50 years with this. So they weaponized this for 50 years. The only thing that's different now is the amount of ticks that you're starting to see, and that they come right at you.
A surge of aggressive ticks that, as you can see by the video, have a tendency to chase their victim. Not native to Russian territory, but rather Africa and Asia. He suggested they could have been brought to Russia through migratory birds. But what he said in an interview about these ticks is the stuff of nightmares. These are real hunters. If our ticks near Moscow are partisan who sit quietly in the grass and wait for you to pass by, then the Hyaloma behaves aggressively. They see the victim and run after them. Moreover, their speed. A Russian biologist is now reporting a surge of aggressive ticks.
So what is tick weaponization? So in the interviews with Willie, what he said was, I spent over a decade in the biological weapons program, a contractor to Fort Detrick, working on weaponizing fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, trying to mass produce them, stuffing fleas with the plague, stuffing mosquitoes with deadly Trinidad virus, and then stuffing ticks with either deadly or incapacitating diseases like relapsing fever, Venezuelan equine encephalitis, rabies, leptospirosis, which is another spirochete. So it's just like Dr. Strangelove trying to make new diseases, mixing bacteria and virus in ticks with the intent of, this is the perfect stealth weapon. It's poor man's nuke. You drop these insects on an enemy, it weakens the population, it ties up the medical resources, but doesn't destroy infrastructure like a nuclear bomb would. And in one report from a bean counter in the military, they said, tularemia, which is tick-borne tularemia, also rabbit fever, we can kill 10,000 people at $1.33 a life. So anyway.
Honestly, guys, I don't really know how to handle this information. It's kind of like 2020 with that virus. It's like you could look at Event 201, you could follow the gain of function research and all the white papers and rest of it as it goes back past 2014. And then you can talk about the virus that came from the lab that's in the same city in Wuhan. And people will be like, oh no, I heard someone ate a bat. So I just hope nothing like that gets set up with these ticks, because I don't really know how to have these conversations with people anymore. Maybe that's why I'm on YouTube. Honestly, who knows how long YouTube lets all this stuff stay up. They've already taken a lot of mine down.
I have a good friend of mine who got bit by the Lone Star tick and has that alpha-gal problem.
Yeah, a guy came out of my house yesterday looking at putting gutters up at our house. And dadgum, he said, and I said, you did what? He goes, yeah, I can't eat any meat produced by a mammal.
Yes.
I was like,
yeah. So my buddy, he had it, and my friend Evan, so he had it for a little while, and then he did a bunch of treatments and got off of it and then started eating steak again. And he was fine for about a year and a half, and then it came back stronger than ever. And he just can't shake it.
It's been around that long.
Oh, yeah. He can only eat eggs. I mean, he's basically eating eggs and vegetables. That's all he's eating. Cool. And every time he tries to deviate, he has a horrible reaction. It makes, for people that don't know, it makes your body allergic to red meat.
Right. And who has got genetically made meat now?
Yeah. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, well, they're doing things with mosquitoes, and they're messing around with nature in a way that no one's given you permission to. The general public does not want you doing this. If they could vote on it, they'd say no way.
A rare meat allergy from tick bites is rising and may have already impacted as many as almost 500,000 people, says the CDC. The CDC says this, who adds that now there is a steep increase in cases of alpha-gal syndrome, AGS. AGS, they claim, has been traced to the saliva from the Lone Star tick and their blood-sucking bites, which can make a person sick when they consume certain meat and animal products made from mammals. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, red meat allergies caused by certain types of ticks is an emerging public health concern that was invented as a bioweapon, I'll guarantee you. But I can't prove. AGS is a serious and potentially life-threatening allergic reaction to a type of sugar found in most mammals called alpha-gal. A bite from a Lone Star tick can transfer alpha-gal into the body by a non-oral route, thereby priming the body to launch an immune response whenever the sugar is subsequently eaten. So it's an autoimmune. They create an which is, I'm pretty sure, a lot like what killed you during COVID and Lyme disease, stuff like that. It's your own body reacting to it. Abloma americanum, Lone Star tick. The Lone Star tick is found across the southeastern and eastern United States, as well as Mexico and parts of Canada. The Lone Star name is due to the tick having a single spot on its back, but it's also known as the northeastern water tick or the turkey tick. Well, that's nice. I'm glad it has lots of different names. AGS symptoms can range from mild to severe and include a rash, hives, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, shortness of breath, stomach pain, and heartburn. The burden of alpha-gal syndrome in the United States could be substantial given the large percentage of cases suspected to be going undiagnosed due to nonspecific and inconsistent symptoms. Really? Hey, ask your doctor if being bitten by a genetically altered tick is right for you. There is a lack of clinical awareness amongst doctors, but if AGS is suspected, there is a blood test that looks for specific antibodies. A CDC survey found that 42% of the 1,500 U.S. healthcare professionals had never heard of AGS, and 35% they were not too confident in their ability to diagnose it. Only 5% they were very confident. Between 2010 and 2022, about 110,000 cases have been officially diagnosed, but the true number of cases has been as high as 450,000. A new breed of pig called gal-safe pigs have been genetically engineered to eliminate alpha-gal so that those suffering from AGS will be able to enjoy pork chops and bacon once again. I'm sure there'll be no other side effects from doing that with a pig. Why make genetically altered life forms? Simply because then you own it. It wasn't made by nature, it was modified by you, and that gives you the rights to it. So you create a thing that you can't eat or it'll kill you, but now I've created a new thing that you can eat that I now own the patent on. Sounds like Dr. Evil shit. Sounds exactly what Bill Gates would do. This ties in nicely with the globalist agenda to own and control everything that we eat. Given the anti-red meat propaganda of recent years, AGS does appear to be the most politically convenient food allergy of all time. Perhaps our would-be masters would prefer us all to be physically weak, cognitively weak, emotionally unstable, low in testosterone, chronically ill, and dependent on their patented food supply chains. Sounds like it. Sounds like it. I mean, if I was a crazy conspiracy theorist, you know, like, and think of a crazy conspiracy, how did Woody Harrelson put it? That they created a virus in a lab that if infected, and that you had to lock down inside your plate, and you had to take a drug that was made by this cartel that invented the thing in the first place, and you couldn't leave your house or travel or go to work unless you took their drug, and you had to keep taking it over. Sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory that actually came true.
Do ticks have? Look at my face and my neck. I can't eat red meat anymore. I can't have any animal byproducts in anything. And it's in everything. This is alpha-gal syndrome. This is fucked up, man. Fuck ticks. I love to go hiking. This is fucking crazy. My question I ask you is what fuck
my top plot, and I saw this little guy. I don't know if he's alive or he's got ticks all over his head and eyes. I mean, look at that. On his ears. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do. I'm out here mushroom hunting and I found, there it is right there, the tick box. I'm not going to touch it because there's ticks all over that thing. I know there is. Look at them crawling out of it. Millions of them.
There are 450,000 Americans with alpha-gal syndrome from these bioengineered ticks from this fucking psychopath right here. And they can no longer eat red meat for their entire lives. And this is not normal, guys. It's not normal for these massive moose to be covered in tens of thousands of ticks, literally killing them in Canada, or snakes covered in hundreds of ticks in Australia being killed once again. All this is happening right before they're coming out with a new Lyme disease vaccine. It's just the 101 of their playbook, guys. Engineer the problem and then the solution.